Hello, everybody. Sorry I am a little bit late. Yeah, sorry I'm a little bit late. My webcam was fucking around. What's up, Gym Leader Zero? What's up, Diddy Kong? What's up, Guacamole Dolphin? What's up, B? How you all doing today? Let's go to YouTube Studio. Alright. Want to make sure you guys can hear all the stuff. Oh. What's up, Whoosh? What's up, Saphira? What's up, Leslie? How are you all doing? What's up, Salomon's RT? How are you? We are in for a grind. Let me see. Did that. How's everyone doing? Just make sure a few things are up to date because I think that's wrong. Let's just get out of here. Get out of here. So we're down to 77 members. Alright, that's correct. That's fine. What's up, Cool Imp? How you doing? What's up, Bacon Man Stan? What's up, Nerd? Good luck with the hunting, thank you. Work is kind of stressful right now, got a headache from it. Yeah, I've been there, trust me. Let's put on some music to fuck around to. We'll put on my classic. Put on my classic Geo Wizard soundtrack that I love to listen to. There. What's up, Rubik? How are you? Doing well. Finish my regional dips and shields so I can move forward with Skyline. Nice. Can't say long, wish you the best. Thank you very much, Luke. I appreciate it. Ugh. Get a little bit of natural lighting in this. Thank you, Henny. I appreciate it. I'm gonna need it. This RNG is very difficult. This manip is not easy. Have you seen the new Scarlet Violet trailer? Nope, I have not. I'm getting the game anyway, so like I've already purchased it, so what's the point in, you know what I mean? Like what's the point in spoiling myself for it? I've been sick since yesterday. Leaking isn't fun when you enjoy breathing properly. What do you mean? How many POC are going to be in Scarlet Violet? What do you mean? After watching your videos, I finally decided to start doing some nips myself. Nice! My nips are fun. People, don't let them stink you on them. A lot of people can get some stinky on some RNG nips, but the thing about them is that they're just fun in a different way. They're not too difficult to understand. Like, they're not too difficult to understand, you know. I don't know. People are just weird about it, and it's just like, yeah, it's not too hard. People can get it, if you can get it, you know what I mean? I want to put, where's this? This gets up over here. Yeah, that goes there. You think terrestrializing is going to be a ban in the Smogon meta? I don't know. I mean, it's actually kind of a miracle to me that Z-moves didn't get banned. Ugh. That Z-moves didn't get banned, so I'm expecting terrestrialize to be a little OP. How long does terrestrializing last? Do we know how many turns? And does it boost anything other than giving you a different stab? Oh, it's like Mega. You terrestrialize once and it's the rest of the battle. What's up, bro? I don't know how long. I don't remember when the timer beeps. I think it's soon. Oh, so we don't know for sure how long it is. You guys are just guessing. You'd think we'd know how long it is because there's a guy out there who's got it, but I guess he never answered that question. But I don't know. It seems annoying for the Smogon type meta. The thing about the Smogon meta is that, you know, Game Freak intentionally doesn't design very much around singles these days because of VGC is the official meta. But, like, doesn't mean it can't be okay. I mean, Z moves to me were on the cusp of broken. I think they could be banned in Gen 7 and it's fine. Terrestrialization's weird. How long would it be? Like, I don't even know. And why would it be a specific length? My timer gonna go off? Hello? Does it go off at like 3? There we go. There we go. And resuming. Dude, Kyogre's song for the rain thing is so good, if you ask me. Being poisoned with teleport is okay. It's not teleport, it's just fainting from poisoning. But it definitely makes this strat a lot more viable. Like, this would be a lot harder of an RNG. This would be a lot more difficult of an RNG. Oops, I didn't need to do this. Whatever. This would be a lot more difficult of an RNG if I had to do it from one of the contest halls, because they all have NPCs in them. But because I can do the whiteout warp, it's not actually as big of a deal. In terms of NPCs, the only variance is the tiles causing whatever it's called. I can't remember what I'm talking about. Do you know how long it takes to RNG manip a new game? It doesn't work that way. Sword and Shield got discovered very quickly. Gen 7 also got discovered in like 2 months. Gen 6 didn't get discovered till after Gen 7. Let's Go Pikachu EV never got discovered. There is no timetable. There is not going to be a timetable. Legends Arceus was definitely slower than Sword and Shield. But then Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was relatively fast comparatively. Even then, that was a few months. So it's just like, it doesn't really matter. Like, there's no timetable. If it's RNGable, you'll know in a few months. You know, like 2 to 3 months is what I would say, if it's even RNGable. There's a chance it's just all crypto, like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, because everything's done in the overworld. And Let's Go Pikachu Eevee is fully crypto, so I don't see why this game couldn't be fully crypto. RNG might not even matter for these games if they fucking have that editor that they're allegedly gonna have, you know? Hey, what's up, Wombat? How are you? You're trapped in Massachusetts. I've heard. I saw your Twitter. I didn't realize you were still there. I knew you were trapped there for at least another day. Is it your new used car had an issue? That fucking sucks, dude. I hope you at least had fun at Blacklisted. Dude, especially with your car, it's unlucky. That's good. Glad Blacklisted was fun at the very least. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Car repairs can be... Yeah, it could be very ridiculous. Car repairs can be prohibitively expensive to function. What's up, Saffron? How you doing today, girl? My little Saffron's being cute. I remember my wife Amanda had a Suzuki a while ago, and if you guys don't know, Suzukis are not manufactured in the United States anymore. Like the whole company pulled out of America. But she had hers before they had pulled out, and the parts on those cars started becoming insanely expensive. The Suzuki started becoming insanely expensive to the point where like an O2 sensor, which is like a $20 part for most cars, was literally like $500 for her or something like that. It's something insane. And it was just like, literally she had to buy a new car because the car, just basic maintenance on it was too expensive because Suzuki wasn't in America anymore. It was ridiculous. Favorite Mario Kart game? Mario Kart DS is by far my favorite. I would go so far as to say I don't even like any of the other ones. I'm not a big Mario Kart fan. I'm kind of really bad at Mario Kart. Of course I did Wombat. Yeah. Mario Kart 8 might be my second favorite one that I've played. Everyone loves Mario Kart Wii, but I was always so bad at it. I was never good at Mario Kart Wii, so I never ended up enjoying it that much. Mario Kart DS though, dude, because of the drifting, I thought there was just like the most skillful shit. Like the it's like to me it's like wave dashing or something. The snaking you can do in Mario Kart DS, it's so goated. Yeah, it's just so fun. And you play it on the original DS with the big fat D-pad. It's just like you're just trying to you're boosting the whole time. Also, it's got some of my favorite courses. I really like the course Yoshi Falls. Yeah, here we go. Listen, don't expect this to even happen. Don't even expect this to occur today, gamers. This is one of the most difficult manips I've ever had to do. Or chosen to do, I guess. Nope. What we can hope for is method 4. Master Ball. Actually, I need to bring up a tab. I left something in the Google spreadsheet. I forgot to fill out my seeds. That's naive. How can you menu not knowing the items? Well, I read Japanese, I bet. I thought you knew this. Oh, yeah, I took Japanese in high school for quite a long time. Yeah. I took Japanese from 6th grade until 12th grade. And then I occasionally Duolingo when I get inspiration for... like, like like when I'm deciding, like, you know what, I'm gonna try going a little harder on Japanese again, and then I'll Duolingo for a while, and then I'll fall off of it and rinse repeat till I'm dead. But yeah, okay, I hit, what was the advances I hit? I was early by quite a lot on the advances. The seed I was early by 1, so we'll calculate. Oh, Z, Control C. All right, and we rip it again. All right. You should have tried playing ROBs that weren't translated. I did. Back in the day, like when everyone was using, like, well, let me put the music back on, and then we'll talk about this for a little bit. So, back in wait, there's over here. So, back in like So back when like Gen 4 and Gen 5 were new, and the games would leak online as Japanese copies, I would buy the Japanese copies or play them on an R4, and I would always do it with the real Japanese copy. Like I wouldn't play the crappy translation patches, just because like a lot of the time I was playing on a real, like, I mean, like, this is my copy of Platinum. I bought this before, I bought this from Play Asia before it came out in America as a way for me to practice my Japanese. Like that's why I bought it. Same with my copy of Pearl. Like I bought this from Play Asia on that website, which apparently still exists, by the way. Before it came out in America, as a way to practice, so like, but like everyone else who is playing online would be using the translation patches. I wouldn't be doing that. You're 40, so there's a time. I mean, from my memory, Platinum, when it was leaked online, had a translation patch very quickly. So did Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and so did Black and White. So only before, I think Gen 3 and earlier, there wasn't really translation patches. Part of the the thing about Pokemon is you can easily decide, like, especially from like something like, and also the translations weren't full. Like the way they did it was like they only translated the battle stuff. They only translated attack names. They only translated, like, you know, status effects, abilities, etc. Because you could just copy and paste those. Like we had English Diamond and Pearl when Platinum came out, and then you could just Control-C, Control-V all the moves and stuff. And so it's just like, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. It's not hard to do. Wow. Bot already? It's so early for a bot. I haven't even been streaming 30 minutes. I got botted. Are you kidding me? What's up, Check? How are you today? You multi-streaming? No. I only stream to YouTube. Streaming to Twitch as well causes like lag. And I still personally don't think Twitch is right for me as a platform. I like keeping all my VODs up on YouTube. I think I get pretty good viewership on YouTube. So yeah, like if multi-streaming didn't introduce lag to my YouTube chat, I wouldn't have an issue with it, but it does, so I do. Plus, even if I become affiliate on Twitch, it's like I had to unaffiliate myself from Twitch, so there's barely any benefits to, like, yeah, I could get people to go over to YouTube, but then it just splits my audience. It's just, I don't know. I didn't find it worth it personally. Maybe I'll go back to Twitch, but I just don't like a bunch of stuff about it. Yeah, I like being able to rewind the VODs. It's so helpful. You can technically do it on Twitch, but it's kind of a pain. What is the best shiny? I don't know. I'm not such a hardcore shiny enjoyer. I like the shiny I'm going for now, Kyogre. I mean, there are benefits to Twitch, like you can get primes. Primes is just an income boost. Also, all my money being in one source of income is sort of convenient for me. Does online Melee have lag? Yeah, I mean, just because online, like, just because Melee's online is really good doesn't mean it can't have lag. Like, Melee's online is unbelievably good, even in just coastally, as long as both people are on Ethernet. But once you start going like a little bit far out of region, it stops being like, you know, there is input delay. It's still fine. Like playing a person in California nowadays on Melee compared to playing them with delay-based code is like infinitely easily playable, basically. Yeah. I can basically play anyone across the whole continental US in my yeah. Hey, what's up, Professor Beatus? How you doing? And there's not going to be too big of an issue. Once you go, and even Canada, of course, as well. Slippy and good connection is pretty close to offline. Yeah, it's really good. That's why I got so annoyed with so many different like a lot of Melee players were complaining like kind of hard about online, and it's like, dude, we literally had the Melee version of Jesus Christ come down and give us Slippy, and like like players would be complaining that like it's not exact and like they can't move their character right. It's like, shut up. Like, damn, dude, like Melee could have fucking died during COVID if Slippy didn't come around these parts and make like online play somewhat legitimate compared to delay, especially, you know. Yeah, same, Quam. I do hope rollback for P+ happens. Even automated matchmaking. I know Brawlback exists, but Brawlback is not popular compared to just going into Discords. And I really don't like going into Discords and just asking for matches. Like, yeah, Brawl, well, you know, the thing is, from what I read, Brawl and Melee's situation was a lot different. Like, from what I understand, yeah, it's Wombat. Wombat and I have known each other for a while. I think I missed my seed, by the way. Is there a Melee section in my Discord? No. I should probably put one there. Melee is pretty much equally important to me as Pokemon and D&D. So it only makes sense for me to have one. But oh, I was gonna say something about oh yeah. So from what I understand, and you know, I'm sure Wombat knows better than me, and even other P+ players in the chat. Apparently, we got just a P+ filled day here. From what I understand, the reason the rollback was able to happen for Melee a little bit easier than it was for Brawl is like the Melee's mods were always about like practicality and like it's the same reason adding new characters to Melee took way longer than it did to Brawl. Was the modders were focused in Melee, they were focused on like oh, I didn't unmute the game. The modders in Melee were focused on like fixing controllers, like, you know, fixing input delay, like making practice tools. Where Brawl's mods like started off with cosmetics, and slowly, thanks to Brawl Plus and then subsequently Project M and then subsequently Project Plus, they worked more heavily into game engine alterations. But like Like, remember, PM didn't have a training mode, you know, built into it until 3.5, I think, right? They had to build that from scratch. Like, obviously, you know, Brawl had to have a bunch of, like, low-level engine changes, like... Hey, what's up, Morphlight? Like, Brawl had to have a bunch of low-level engine change. Like, do you guys remember? Oh, man, I remember Brawl, or PM came out, like, 2.5. Maybe it was even 2.1. And the game just, like, a lot of people didn't even like it, PM, when it first came out. And part of the big reason was the way landing detection worked. I don't even know if that's what it's called anymore. But back in the day, it was called landing detection. And, like, a lot of PM... like PMDT at the time were like, we don't even know if we can change the landing detection to work the same as it does in Melee. Like, they didn't even think it was possible. It's basically how, when a character determines where they're touching the ground. I don't know if, I think that came out in PM 3.0, right? Landing detection, the fix for that. Maybe it was 2.6 or something. Environmental collision box. Oh, yeah, it was just ECB stuff. Yeah. Because basically in Brawl, the way it works is your character counts as touching the ground. Their ECB doesn't change based on what move they're doing. That's basically what it was, right? Like, because the main example was Link could do a nair, and he would be very high off the ground still, but his ECB would touch the stage, and he would just be that would count as him hitting the ground. Whereas in Melee, like, it doesn't matter until Link literally, his ass hits the floor if he's doing a nair. That's when it counts. From what I remember, this is so long ago. This was in like 2012 when they were talking about this. Yeah, I think they fixed that in 3.0, right? I think they fixed that in 3.0. No, it was more like, basically, Beatus moves ended earlier than they would have in Melee. No, it was 2 was the first one, was it not? Was it not? I thought 2.0 was the first public demo. Hold on. I'm Googling this. There was a 1.0 demo? Because I remember doing Wi-Fi matches. You had to download a special Wi-Fi build to make it work. Because I remember doing Wi-Fi matches playing Link. Yeah, I figured you meant like too. It looks like the article about landing detection was made in 2012. So yeah, it might have been like 2.0 or 2.5 or something. Hey, what's up, Nicodabra? How you doing? You'd have to go through like the sacred Smashboard text to find all this stuff out. Yeah, Safari Zone sounds cool, dude. Yeah, so I think the landing detection fix was like 2012. Which, so it was before, it must have been fixed before 3.0. I wish there was a history of the... I wonder if there's like a history of patch notes anywhere. Obviously the Project Plus changes exist, but... I wonder if the old one still exists. Ah, release history, here we go. No, I don't like those, like, I Dude, 2.1 was the AI can now wave dash. So basically, I don't like those games, those PM games that are like. I was, I think I was talking to Wombat about this when I was at his birthday tournament. What I don't like about like something like PM EX Remix or like other mods is a lot of the times they don't feel as like cohesive or well done as PM and P+ do. Like PM and P+ devs really sweat the animations to make them really, really good. Like the whole games always feel like professional, like high quality ass games. You know what I mean? Where something like PMX Remix doesn't, like, I would say PM and by extension P+ really do not feel like fan games. Like they basically don't feel like fan games. But PMEX does feel like that, and I don't really like it because of that, you know? So I can never get into them. Yeah, Knuckles would say they had other characters in development as well. I don't know how many of them were definitely 100% going to get finished. But there was a few other characters that were definitely like in experimental phase to be added, right? Lynn is well known, and so is Isaac. Lynn had a somewhat complete version of herself leaked, and then an even more complete version of that leaked. And then I still hit 1 seed early. And then Isaac had like an insanely incomplete version of himself leaked. Still 1 early on my seed, man. But P+ luckily did finish. Now, I don't even... A few different of the dev team people that I know have told me the story of how they convinced Knuckles to get added, but apparently it was quite a lot of convincing. Alright, let's put on the music again. Alright, I'm going through the PM patch notes right now. Wow. I can't find landing detection notes anywhere. I know it was like a big deal. It's actually crazy to me. You can RNG on home, Ruby. Wow. It's actually crazy to me that there's like not a easily accessible list of patch notes and stuff. So much PM has had so much of its history like unfairly yeeted from the world. Like the official dev team just fucking deleted their old website that had all of their documentation on it. I don't know, it was just crazy. It's also pretty miraculous people were able to be even convinced to let P+ happen. A long time ago. It wasn't even really Nintendo ninjas. It was like a shitty lawyer. Europe still hasn't swapped over? Oh, is that true? I don't even like... Part of my problem with Ultimate is there's too many good characters. P+ has the most amount of... P+ is the most amount of good characters I'm probably willing to tolerate in any game. Yeah, P+ is almost too many characters. It's a lot of good characters. You forgot public transportation exists? That's because you live in America where it doesn't. Especially you like me don't live in a city where it really doesn't. And then you have to pay to ship your car, wouldn't you? I guess you could just take your car. You could take a train back and then get your car later. Takes sleeping on someone's couch. I get it, dude. Public transit is great. Yeah, public transit is great. America just doesn't fucking have it, dude. Like, dude, I was seeing these posts about if high-speed rail existed in America. If high-speed rail existed in America, there would be a train from NYC to Philly in 45 minutes. And same thing to, like, Chicago. It's like, dude, like, if I wanted to get to Chicago by train right now, it's 8 hours. It's 8 fucking hours. That's slower than driving a car. It'd be less than an hour by high-speed rail. I don't get it. I don't get how people don't want this. Because that lessens the amount of traffic you're going to be getting at airports, right? Like, so you're going to have two, versions of transportation that are about as quick as each other. One is entirely electric. And then, so the people who take planes, the people who take rail. Like, you're splitting out the congestion, basically, between two different types. Rail travel in the US is a joke? Yes, it is a joke. It's ridiculous, dude. Rail travel in the US is absolutely ridiculous. Yep, US rail travel's insanely expensive for some reason. And it's always slower. But the subways are good. Like, New York subways aren't even bad. They're just, like, kind of dirty. Very dirty. I will even go to very dirty. But, like, as far as actual transit go, like, they're pretty good. Do you think there's any practical use for Evaluate Sligoo? I have no fucking idea. Yes, New Yorkers will definitely complain about the subway. New Yorkers will also complain about New York. I don't even know how many other alternate rail systems there are in America. Like, it blew my mind, like, realizing that there's just no subway system in LA. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean there's no subway? Is there any public? And it's just LA just doesn't have public transit. Like, their public transit is like a shitty bus system that isn't good. I've been one seat early. The frames have sort of been plus 10, plus 5. It varies wildly because of the luck that's required. Oh, there is a subway. Maybe it's just smaller scale. I was under the impression it didn't have one, but I've never been to LA or to California or even the West Coast. I think the furthest west I've been is I'm having a brain fart. Also, hi Tama. Dude, I'm like stroking out. Oh, Nevada. I've been to Vegas. That's the furthest west I've been. I'm just going off what I know from people. What does hatching the egg do? Oh, you know, I keep forgetting to turn the game audio back on. You guys can hear there is music playing in this chamber. It is the egg hatching music. The egg hatching music causes a chance for the vertical blank function to tear when you're encountering Kyogre. And so Kyogre's PID will be displaced from the IVs that are generated by a few advances. And so that I will get the shiny PID that I want along with the all 31 IVs that I want. So there's a chance that we get a shiny Kyogre here and it's a false positive to where I'll be getting a shiny Kyogre that is something like probably only half of the IVs are 31 and I'll have to yeet it. It is luck based. And this can only occur on, from what I understand, this can only occur in Pokemon Box because Pokemon Box is an emulator. A lot of people think, oh, I'm playing on a Game Boy player. I'm not playing on a Game Boy player. This is Pokemon Box, the Japanese version of it. Pokemon Box lets you play Ruby and Sapphire, only those two, not Emerald, not Fire Red, not Leaf Green. It lets you play them in like a weird built-in emulator that it has. And because it's an emulator, it actually isn't accurate to what the console would do. And it does stuff like this, where it can generate method 4. Yeah, Japanese copies of Box are not expensive. I got in 2019, 2018, I got Pokemon Box and Japanese Coliseum for, I got them for $50 total for both of them at the same time, and they both came in the case with the manual, with the memory cards. It's like a baby subway system. There you go. That's cool to know. Yeah, I paid $50 for it. I could check when. How much? Yeah, we have a lot of time left. To eBay to see my old purchase history. I wonder if I can get my purchase history all the way back then. Yes. I bought Pokemon Coliseum. I bought Pokemon Coliseum, Japanese, and Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire, and a buy it now. This was a buy it now price, because I never do the auctions on eBay. It's too stressful. I don't like doing it. And it was $56 for both Coliseum and Pokemon Box Japanese. And it was, they came with the discs, with the cases, with the sleeves on the cases, with the manuals, with all the ads, and with the memory cards. Then I also bought in the same exact day, I bought Pokemon Box RS in the English European version for $54. I bought, it wasn't the JP version. No, I have 2 copies of Box Ruby Sapphire. I have Japanese Box Ruby and Sapphire, and also English PAL, so English, the European copy of Pokemon Box Ruby Sapphire. The reason I bought the PAL version is the PAL English version. The weird thing about the GameCube Pokemon games is they aren't region locked, they are language locked. So this Japanese Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire, it will never work if I'm using an English copy of Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire. It will only work with the Japanese copy. Now, let's say I buy the European version of Pokemon Coliseum. The PAL version of Pokemon Coliseum actually lets you pick your language. I don't really know why. It lets you pick, like, I guess they just sold it in all the countries in Europe. And so the PAL version of Pokemon Coliseum, you can switch the language. And so let's say I set the language to French, it won't connect to my English copy of Ruby and Sapphire. But if I reset the game and then set the save file to English, it will connect. That's how it works. It's language locked. It's very strange. Nope. This is a serious Kyogre. HP stat's really good. This was at least method 4. It was too late on the seed. Quite a bit late on the advances. I mean, you basically have to hack/mod your system. You have to hack and/mod your system for, you know, to use the PAL copy of the game anyway. Like, it's not like the PAL copy of the game will work on my US system without me using Swiss or whatever the heck, but, you know, I do it anyway because it's like, I like owning physical games. I need to physically have my meaningless plastic or, you know, I'm not having as good of a time. The GameCube is region locked, but the connectivity is language locked? Yeah. It's even weirder when you think about the fact that the games aren't region locked from each other. Like, you can trade between English and Japanese Gen 3 games. Like I can trade between English and Japanese Ruby and Sapphire. Why can't I trade between English and Japanese Ruby Sapphire and then Japanese Pokemon Box, or English Ruby Sapphire, Japanese Colo? I don't understand why it locks it out that way. It's very strange to me. I think the connectivity was just like not well done. Yeah, and that's why the English will work with PAL English games, because all the English ROMs are identical. Like, there is no difference between PAL Emerald and PA and US Emerald. They are the same exact game. I really enjoyed your videos. I was able to do the Q Charm Glitch and Heart Golds thanks to you. I have a modified Game Boy that has a speed up switch. Can that cause a problem with RNGing your starter in Emerald? As long as you don't speed it up during the RNG, it won't cause any problems. RNG manip in Gen 3 looks like a pain for how precise it is. I think anyone in this chat will tell you who's done RNG in Gen 3 that it is not that bad. Like, I think pretty much anyone can learn how to RNG in Gen 3. I think Fire Red is where Gen 3 starts to get hard, but Fire Red Leaf Green does not suck. You bought a copy of Soul Silver, and the GameStop guy warned me, and I'm at work. It didn't. I figured I got lucky. It makes sense. The DS only starts region locking in the DSi era. So if a game says it's DSi enhanced, it won't. It is region locked on DSi consoles. Like, Pokemon Black version in Japanese. If you put that in a DS Lite, it will work. But if you put that in a DSi, it will not work. It's region locked. Now, I don't even remember if that applies to the 3DS though. I'll say that. And I don't own any DSi games, so I don't even own a DSi, so I don't know. No, but I don't even own like Japanese black and white. Yeah. Region locking is seemingly region locking is seemingly going like kind of away. Like I remember PS4 wasn't region locked at all. I don't know if the PS5 is. Yeah, region locking is definitely very frustrating. No, I don't think they... Oh, they definitely did do away with the PS3, actually. You're right. Because I own a physical copy of Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty, which was only released physically in Europe. Region locks originated in tech limitations. That is absolutely not true. Region locking originated with wanting to make money. That's only for Europe and for the rest of the world and Australia, I guess. Europe and Oz had different clock speeds, but not Japan and America, and they still have region locks between Japan and America. It was for money. That only applies to Europe versus America. The money-making scheme absolutely did not evolve from that. No, sir. Otherwise, there would be no there would be no reason to region lock between Japan and America ever, and yet they were doing it. Well, no, the Game Boy never had to worry about clock speeds because the Game Boy, like the Game Boy didn't have to worry about clock speeds. It just didn't. Because it's not. The issue was Europe's rate of power, from what I understand. And the clock speeds was a like lazy. The clock speeds was a lazy fix to a different problem. Like, basically, the electricity, the power systems, the power grids of the countries ran at different frequencies. But because America and Japan ran at the same frequencies, because America and Japan ran at the same frequencies, there was no issue. And instead of figuring out, you know, how to make a PAL game run at 60 frames per second because of the TV's refresh rate, or like do any kind of work on that, they were just like, fuck it, we'll just clock the game's 10 speed. We'll just clock the game's 10% down. And there you go. Like, there were definitely other ways to do it than just slowing the entire ass game down. As noted by the fact that there are 60 frames per second analog TVs. Yeah, but games are 60 FPS now, and games have been able to be 60 FPS for a long time in Europe. Like, this was like the solution they chose was just the lazy solution as opposed to something else. Bug. And again, I will preface this with video games came out in Japan first and then in America second, like in terms of like the NES stuff. Oh, well, I shouldn't have paused there. They made the NES. They just made it fucking incompatible with the fucking Famicom. Just to be assholes. The Super Nintendo too. They like intentionally made cartridges not fit so that you couldn't buy it across games. Like this happened before it happened in Europe. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I did with my N64. Like, I understand that Europe had to have region locking to some extent. Like, the game, like, if they didn't choose to just clock the game speeds down, which was very lazy, they would have had to do, something else. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, I have my, yeah, exactly. It's just fully, I think it was always to keep people from importing. Like, if I basically wouldn't be saying it was a money grab if, like, the NES and the Famicom are also basically compatible, from what I understand. They just made them incompatible. And if they had, like, let's, for example, if Japan and America never had any region locking, but Europe always did because of, I said almost 100% compatible because I know there are some differences, but I believe the differences were manufactured. The differences were in part manufactured to make sure that the games couldn't be played. No, I know they're not. There's a bunch of weird stuff with the NES too. Like I remember I was watching a speed run of Metroid 1. Like the Metroid I was watching the Famicom disk system is not the Famicom. Anyway. Like I remember I was watching someone speedrun Metroid, like the original Metroid on the NES, and he was like, these creatures are spawning in different ways than they spawn on my console at home. Like the hardware differences within the NES itself were slightly altering like some of the CPU timing or something like that. Changing when creatures would spawn or which way they would spawn. But like, let's say if America and if North America or like all of the Americas, because they're using 60 hertz, and Japan were always compatible with each other, and like that was always like, let's say the N64, the Super Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, like the GameCube, if they were always compatible with each other, but Europe was never compatible because of the 60 hertz issue, I would have said the region locking in Europe is fine. Like that's acceptable. You know, it is a hardware issue based on this thing. Like that's totally fine, but they don't allow swapping between North America and Japan basically for literally no reason. There's just no reason. They're just assholes. And that started before the European issue. A console being compatible generally and 100% compatible are different, but I think in this specific context, it's like a bit pedantic to say that. Like that's like saying the oh, To me, that's like saying the Timex Sinclair 1000 isn't fully compatible with the ZX80. Those two computers are effectively identical insides. They just did a few different, like, it's basically a mildly newer hardware revision that intentionally won't read the older stuff. Like, they are compatible, even if there's a minor, like, I would say if a system is 90% compatible, you could, I think if a system is like 90% compatible, you can call them compatibles to each other. No, I think they definitely intentionally didn't want people importing stuff from Japan. I'm almost certain they didn't. What's up, Dylan? How are you doing? Dang it. If you want to RNG Shiny Snorlax and Leaf Green, yeah, it's method 1. Dude, I'm arguing so much today over this. This is so stupid. I definitely feel like I'm correct. Yeah, that's what I'm... Tama, thank you. This is what I'm saying. Nintendo has such a history of this. I have no doubt that they were fully just trying to control the market and what people were trying to do with their own thing. Like, I can't believe anyone's even arguing against me. Like, it's blowing my mind. It's been literally region locked since the Famicom. They're a compatible system. Like, what? They went out of their way to make it not compatible. Oh, I'm like 1 frame late or something. Where am I at? I was on seed 1 frame late. All right. Wrong method, though. Wrong method. Oh, that sucks, Wombat. What the hell? I've never had anything like that happen. All right, sleep well check. They definitely no. If you've heard the, if you've ever read, the story, if you've read the story of how the NES was designed in America, I would not refer to it as an improvement. The NES's design, the guys literally made it overnight. Like, they had a prototype design for the NES, and the people didn't like it, like, Nintendo didn't like it, and the guy was like, I stayed up all night redesigning it to come up with the design that we sold in stores. I thought you could pretty much mod an NES to play Famicom games. Well, they in part had to. Hold on. I'm Googling what the differences are between these now. Because I feel like you're gaslighting me. I'm just like literally looking up. Thank you for all the RNG guides. I finally managed to get every shiny Pokemon up to Gen 6. That's quite an achievement, Lazar. Congratulations. I don't think they do function differently on, because they both use a 650. They're both using a 6502 derivative processor. Like, if you are using the same processor and the same video controller, you have the same fucking console. I want to find like a good technical differences. And a lack of expansion port doesn't mean it's functioning different. The number of pins doesn't mean that there's a difference. You can send the exact same amount of data. You can send literally the exact same amount of data over different pins. Like, just because something is 72 pins and something is 60 pins, it doesn't mean that there's actually like a difference. They could just be sending the data over different pathways. Uh Actually, this is so funny. Hold on. I have something even funnier. I have something even funnier to prove. This is so funny. Yeah, it's just the pinout. All it is a PCB that sends the signals to the proper pins, Henny. That's all the different. That's the only difference between the two consoles. The sound chip, the the sound chip, the sound chip being different doesn't actually matter that much, because Henny, you're wrong. The sound chip being different literally doesn't even matter, because all it's doing is because, like, just because they produce sound differently doesn't mean they're not compatible. Like, the audio will sound different because the NES is interpreting the audio chip is sending different signals, but that doesn't mean it's not compatible. The music in the 6502 code is still getting sent to the audio chip. The audio chip is just playing it a little bit differently. Henny, I don't think you understand anything, actually. You spend half your free time on NES internals? I don't really believe you. Because you're being extremely pedantic about this, Henny. I'm going to look up a list of... I bet you there's a list out there of what games the 72-pin adapter doesn't work with. Yeah, people don't like hearing the timer beats Wombat, so I usually don't have it. Hey, what's up, Freezeye? How you doing? Doing some RNG today as opposed to... I'm new to your channel. Would you mind explaining what I'm doing? Sure, I will. So basically, what I'm trying to do right now is get a 6 IV shiny Kyogre. So talking to the painting causes my initial seed to change, or my current seed to change based on how many vertical blank frames have been rendered by the GBA. That gets me close to the Kyogre I want, which is typically, you know, several million advances away, right? Then what I have to do after pressing A on the painting at a specific frame, I have to then run to Kyogre. I'm doing a bunch of extra stuff while running to Kyogre because there's a bunch of stuff that can also cause the RNG to advance forward while you're messing about. So basically every time I take a step on a tile that could generate a wild encounter, the game does an RNG check. So what I'm trying to do is minimize that as much as I possibly can. So what I'm doing is every time I enter a new area, I'm playing the black flute, which is what that item is in my inventory that I keep going to. I'm also riding the bike. Riding the bike decreases the rate of encounters that happen. My lead Swampert also has a item called I think it's the cleanse tag that reduces the rate of encounter. I could lower this even more if I had a stench grimer at the front of my party, which I don't. Now the reason I was talking to the painting and then fainting, that's what I was doing there, was the only Pokemon left in my party at that point is Swampert with 1 HP while it's poisoned. Basically, NPCs, every time they take a step in a random direction, can influence the RNG as well. And the only place in Ruby and Sapphire with a painting that can change my seed that also has no NPCs is the top of the Lily Cove contest hall. But if I were to leave that place normally, I would have to run down the stairs where there then is a bunch of NPCs. So what I've done is set it up at the last Poke Center that I healed at was Sootopolis. And so after I talk to the painting, I have a 1 HP Swampert. I take 1 step to the left and then I teleport to Sootopolis. And that is why I'm doing that. As for the egg hatching, as Thuglifia has asked me here, I'm hatching the egg because normally if you know, Kyogre's chambers here actually don't have any music in them. Now I'm trying to aim for a rare alternate spread called Method 4 Kyogre. Now the games are only really intended to generate one type of method, as it's called, right? You talk to the Pokemon, the game is supposed to just generate PID, generate other part of PID, generate first half of IVs, generate second half of IVs. That is what the game is supposed to do. It's not supposed to be doing anything else. What can occasionally happen, this happens a lot with wild Pokemon because the encounter slots sort of fuck this up, is the PID will be generated, and then the PID will be generated, and then instead of generating the IVs right away, what can actually happen is the game just blanks for a second. And that happens in part because the VBlank function, which determines when you draw a video frame on the game interrupts it because the CPU is trying to do two things at once, can't do it. So the game generates the PID of the Pokemon, which determines nature, shininess, and gender, and some other stuff. And instead of generating the IVs immediately, the game decides I need to render a frame. So it renders a video frame, which pauses, and that means now when the RNG picks back up, it's actually at a different RNG advance for the IVs than it's supposed to be. Now, this is really, really rare for Kyogre. Alternate spread methods occur pretty frequently with wild Pokemon. Not too frequently, but you'll see it happen. Encounter slots mess with this in an additional way. But Kyogre almost never happens with it. So, in order to cause the game to be a little bit more unstable, what I'm doing is playing on Pokemon Box. Pokemon Box is in a game that, you typically know for storage, just to store Pokemon or transfer them between different games. But it actually has a built-in emulator for Ruby and Sapphire only. So you can play the game on the TV. I have my GBA connected to my GameCube via the wire here. And what it does is it sends your save file to the GameCube. And then boots up an emulated version of Sapphire in my case. And the emulator is actually not functioning as well as a real GBA does. It doesn't do everything properly. So it has a chance to cause an extra vertical blanks split that Kyogre normally wouldn't have, just because the emulator is not doing everything 100% correctly. On top of all of this, still, Kyogre would have a very low chance of having the vertical blank split. But because this, I played the music here. Again, typically there's no music in Kyogre's chambers, but because I hatched an egg in here, you can hear the egg music playing. The more the game is trying to do at once, the more chance of a vertical blank interrupt is going to occur. And so typically it's a little bit less for the game to do if there's no music happening. So hatching the egg, because there's no music, the game doesn't realize the game doesn't have another audio track to override the egg hatching music. So it just continues eternally. And because the game is doing something else it wouldn't have been expecting to do, it increases the chance for a vertical blank split. In my estimations, I have about a 25% chance to hit method 4. I hope that wasn't too much. I rambled for a long time there. If you have any questions, please ask me. Now, for the record, there are other ways to get a 6 IV or a 5 IV shiny Kyogre than what I'm doing here. I am doing this because I thought it would be cool and did not think it would be as difficult as it is. Turns out, very difficult. So I'm probably going to crack any day now and set it up with the Grimer so I have even a lower chance to encounter the RNG advances that are accidents. But yeah, stuff like this is why there are certain combos of spreads that are like not actually possible. Not shiny, so that means I missed it. So this makes this trick a minimum of a double frame perfect input. I have to hit two 1/60th of a second inputs consecutively. It's very difficult on top of that. And then on top of the two consecutive inputs, I have to deal with the semi-randomness of the encounter checks. So what we're going to do is check Kyogre's stats. That is a hardy Kyogre. This is the exact same goddamn Kyogre I just hit. That's crazy. That is the same Kyogre. So I just hit the exact same frame 2 times in a row, 1 frame late, on seed twice in a row. That's crazy. So there's no reason for me to do an adjustment. Oh, because I'm playing on Pokemon Box Freeze Eye. So actually, I could do that Freeze Eye. I will say this. I could do that if I was playing on a real console. But I would consider slowing it down, cheating. That everyone has their own different perspective. I wouldn't use the slowdown for that. It could make it easier. But because I'm playing on the GameCube, not my GBA, I actually don't even have a way to speed it up or slow it down at all. I like the challenge of doing stupid stuff like this. All right, later, Fate Fun. Thanks for hanging out. I do the speed up stuff just to make... I'm like a weird... You know what? It's actually similar to J-Rose, if you ever watch him, guys. J-Rose really likes playing on his real cartridges, but when you do lots of Pokemon stuff, especially when you're trying to, like I've played through Gen 3 and Gen 4 so many freaking times for, like, streams or for videos or for something like that, and, like, I much prefer playing on my cartridge, on my real console, so I just use the speed ups, usually to get through story stuff faster. Everyone, I think, has their own sort of patience tolerance for that type of stuff. Like, no shame if you're, you know... What is this? No shame if you're, like, you know, someone who prefers to play on emulator and do 10,000% speed. Like, I fucking get it, dude. So I'm now going to Google. Now I'm going to look up that Famicom compatibility list. Oh, NES to Famicom adapter. I was looking for the other way around. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom really bad. Hold on, I'm going to play the music and then go to the bathroom. Music time. Do we want the Melee stuff? I'll play Pokechops' playlist. I've been playing the Melee playlist so much. To be fair, it's very good, and David V. Kimball's goated for making it. Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. What's up, Saffron? What's up, Aussie? Alright, I'm back. Hello. Is there a difference between performing RNG on a GB player and on a game GCN versus an actual GBA? A Game Boy player and a GBA will have no differences. I did wash my hands. My bathroom is like 2 steps away from my I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so it's not like I walk far. What I would do, Meeks, is I believe I would have to have Grimer fainted. I think Grimer would just have to be fainted in the front of the party, and then Swampert would be the poisoned one. Because Grimer would just be level 100, Swampert's poisoned. Yeah, exactly. And then I would give Grimer the, Congratulations, Dylan. That can be tough. It can be tough to dig around for your secret ID. From what I understand, the issue isn't Famicom games being played in NESs, it's the other way around. There are very few NES games that will have difficulties running in the Famicom, but I also cannot find a list of anything that of any Famicom game not running on an NES. The issue is a lot of the good Famicom games are going to be disk system games. Like, although I'm sure there's plenty of good Famicom cartridge games. How long does it take for people to figure out the RNG methods for new generations? You know, it varies wildly. I was talking about this earlier, actually. Gen 6 was not discovered until after Gen 7 came out. Which is why I got a little bit of blowback from people who were like, in the Gen 6, I don't know which of the team building videos you've all seen, but in the Gen 6 team building video, in the Gen 16 building video, oh, well, there you go. Wolf could not have done those RNGs. He had to have soft reset it or had someone have soft reset for him, because RNG just wasn't known back then. And a lot of people think, I get two different camps on those videos. It's very frustrating because neither of camps is what I'm trying to do. Basically, a lot of people think I'm saying, look, Wolf could have done this, therefore he didn't cheat. That is not what I'm doing. And then the other half of the camp is people saying, look how ridiculous this is. He didn't do this. He obviously cheated. Neither is my point. My point is this is too much effort for an official competition for Pokemon. It's too much effort. That's my point. But Wolf could not have done any of those RNG manips because they weren't known about. It was impossible. But Gen 7 got literally discovered like 2 months after it came out. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, nobody figured it out until after Sword and Shield came out. And even when they did figure it out, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is fully crypto secure. You can't you'll never be able to do RNG without hacking in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, or probably at all. And then Sword and Shield was pretty quick. I was RNGing probably by December or January, I want to say, is when Raid RNG was figured out. And then nothing else for Sword and Shield was figured out for Raid RNG until way later. Like 2 years later, they figured out that you could do the overworld RNG in Sword and Shield. For stuff like, you know, the wild Pokemon not in raids. And to this day, you still can't RNG for static Pokemon. To this day, you still can't RNG for static Pokemon like Calyrex. It's just not possible. It never will be possible because it's crypto secured from the Switch's internal stuff. But again, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, probably in part because of the fact that it was made in Unity, was cracked literally instantly, and RNG was also available about 2 months later, I would say. And then Legends Arceus took way longer. Legends Arceus was discovered maybe 2 months ago at this point, so it took a while for people to do Legends Arceus. Scarlet and Violet, I would expect within a few months, like 1 to 2 months, we'll know it's possible. People like the developer of Pokefinder, and Admiral Fish, people like the developer of Pokefinder, Admiral Fish, and the Japanese community will probably have some basic prototyping and like research done into it literally the week it's out. Like Admiral Fish doesn't even play the games anymore. He just gets them running on like Yuzu or whatever the hell, and then looks into the RNG stuff. So we'll probably know soon enough. If we're lucky, not everything is crypto, and you'll actually be able to RNG for a team. Also, I would actually expect the RNG to not be looked into at all if the rumors are true, and there's an actual like editor for the Pokemon in the game. Maybe it will get looked into if people want to do like a minute for a shiny or something like that. But if there's an editor for stats and natures, like, I wouldn't expect too much RNG to be even done, you know? I've been sweating a little bit about the editor being in there because I wanted to make a Scarlet Violet team builder video, but if there's just an editor for it, I just can't make a video. If there's just a built-in editor, I have no video to make. I guess I'll just do Gen 7 at that point. But my biggest concern with this is, my biggest concern truly with Scarlet and Violet is there gonna be a 20-minute timer? I don't want there to be a 20-minute timer, guys. A BDSP was so disappointing to me because I couldn't relive my Gen 4 OU memories on cartridge. Like, I understand I could play Showdown. Showdown's the better way to play the game, especially for singles. But like, it just makes me so sad that the meta literally can't even exist on cartridge because there's a stupid timer. Like, why? At least in Sword and Shield, there is a dog-ass workaround for it. Like, Sword and Shield has the stupid land mode that you can set the custom rules for, and then you could do, like, tunneling. Like, it's dumb, I agree, but at least it's possible. Like, it's not even possible in BDSP. I just don't get why I can't make custom rules with my buddies. The original Gen 4 didn't even have a timer for Wi-Fi battles. They could go on infinitely as long as it was played with a friend. They didn't even have random matchmaking, honestly. Well, thank you for hanging out, Wombat. I appreciate you being here. I hope your car is ready soon. Wolfglick's personal stance that he has friends. There's nothing positive that can come from him giving his input or negative. No. I was not trying to criticize Wolf for not answering me or whatever the fuck. It just makes me, it's just like, dang. You know what I mean? That's all. Like, I'm not, I get it, dude. Trust me, I get it. I get why he would not answer me for interviews. I'm happy Marcus did. Same with Edu. Although, I'm a little more surprised Edu didn't answer me because Edu's entire team was confirmed legit by Kphotics, except for the giveaway he took from the Smogon thread for the Calyrex, which is like, I don't even think that's a big deal. Like, if someone says Edu's a cheater because he took like a clone giveaway bot thing, like, ah, fuck you, come on, man. His entire team was legit. Otherwise, that guy's fine. So I'm a little surprised he didn't answer me, but that's okay. I'm so happy Ray Rizzo gave me his teams because it was impossible. His Gen 4 team didn't exist anywhere on the internet. He had to give it to me. And then he also gave me Huey Ha's team, which was crazy. I was like, damn, I can't believe. So I'm very grateful that. And Ray's the only one who's also commented on the videos. Ray has told me that he liked both of them, which I appreciate. Boop. Boop, boop. I'm probably going to try and go to some VGC events this year. But finding events for EGC is kind of weird. How do I find them? Does anybody know? I tried to find them once. For Sword and Shield, and I could never do it. I couldn't figure it out. And there's like no regionals in New York. Man, they're really... Oh, these are all TCG. I don't want TCG. My cat is screaming and I don't know why. Asiago, why? Come here. Come here, what are you doing? My little boy is crying. I have him on my shirt. You guys see that? This is my cat on my shirt. You guys like this? Where are you, buddy? I'll open the back door for you, but it's really cold. You're lucky I love you, son, and that you can now look out the back door. Oh, it's shiny. Remember, this could not be the one. Remember, hold your breath, everybody. This could be method 1, and I'll have to reset over it. No pogging yet. Illegal. Illegal maneuver to currently pog. Hold your breath, everybody. Hold your breath. But it's pink. It will get yeeted to hell. I don't think that's max HP. Oh. No, I've lost it. Where are you? Ooh, there's no way this is it. Let's see what we got here. I'm almost certain it's not it, but let's see. 97, 158, 97, 99, 157, 132, 95. Oh, hello? Oh, it's the wrong nature. Nope, it is method 1. So the first 3 stats are all perfect, whereas the final 3, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, are not perfect. That means I am resetting over this Kyogre. Everybody say goodbye. We have to have the perfect stats, everybody. We are close. I was 1 frame late 2 times in a row, and then I was on target. So we're obviously very close. We just have to get lucky now with the... I have a problem. I just found out that YouTuber Moxie Boosted lives in the same state as me because of this insane tweet from them. This is crazy. What the fuck? A county in New York? I can't stop laughing at this. This is really funny. A county in New York ran a ran a contest to have an I voted sticker. Like a custom I voted sticker for the upcoming midterm elections. And it is this. This is the contest. This is the sticker. This is so good. Dude, why isn't my county this cool? What the fuck, bro? Oh my god. If I just lived 20 minutes more upstate, this would be my sticker. That's so funny. Oh, that's so fucking funny, dude. Holy shit. Oh my god. It's us. That's the I voted sticker. How old was this person? They have the ages for all the other. They were 14 years old. This person's goated. This kid's goated. Holy shit! What an absolute goat. Oh, dude. That's so fucking funny. Yeah, like, this is not very far from me at all. That's so fucking funny, dude. It's just goated. It's just goated. We were considering moving that upstate to buy a house. Houses, guys, turns out, not cheap. Do you guys know about this? Houses? Kind of expensive. Dude, man and I have been house shopping, and it's just like, wow, this is tough. This is tough to find. This is tough to find everything we want in a house for the price that we want. Like, we're trying to... It's just so tough. But once we find the right place, we'll be able to... Once we find the right place, we're pretty much going to be able to pay the same or less that our current rent is, but have more bedrooms. Like, our goal is... Our ultimate dream is a 3-bedroom house, but there's a chance we can get... We'll accept at this point a 2-bedroom house. But it's just hard. Because, like, even with a 40K down payment, like, that doesn't leave us a lot of room. That's like a 40K down payment is most of our savings. And then close, like, we might not even be able to afford the closing costs of a 40K down payment. Like, it would be close. So... But it's crazy, like... Freeze Eye. I'm trying, Freeze Eye. I'm trying. I mean, YouTube has been doing well for me the last few months. I just have to see if I can keep it up. Interest payments are huge in this scenario. They drive up your payment upward. No, the actual issue for me is down payment is one of the biggest factors in whether or not down payment is a very big factor in how much your monthly cost will be. Ideally, the issue, like, because, like, it's crazy. Like, you can find a house for, like, 220,000 that's 2 bedrooms, like, in my town. And you do a 20% down payment on that. The monthly costs are only, like, $100 more than rent, which is totally good for us. But then, if I wanted a 2-bedroom apartment in my town, it's like $300,000 and like $1,800 a month. What the fuck is that about? I know part of it is like HOA fees drives up the monthly cost of apartments, but still. And like we're not in a rush to leave because our rent situation is really good for a New York person. Like rent in New York, even where I live, is you know, pretty expensive. And like Amanda and I don't try to commute to the city, but we live in what is technically considered the New York metropolitan area still, so it's like places are expensive. And like we didn't go to school for a high-paying industry. I mean, Amanda left the fucking food industry because shit wasn't paying her good enough. And also the food industry is miserable. Never get into it, even if you like cooking. Just do it as a hobby. It's cooler and better. Welcome back, Fate Fun. Nope. Large down payment does increase the starting principal. Yeah. I mean, the interest rates on houses have been very high lately, like, compared to what it used to be. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I'm never gonna get an interest rate as low as my parents got when they bought their first house, and it's just like, well, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I was a waiter and cook for about a year. Yeah. It's exhausting work. I know any manual, I'm not trying to say, by the way, that, like, me complaining about the food industry is not trying to, like, have a competition with other manual labor jobs, right? Like, they all probably suck. Like, any manual labor job is going to leave you too tired to get home to do things. Like, you're going to get home, you're going to be too tired. You're going to be too tired to cook. You're going to be like, every job has its challenges. And they're shitty in different ways. Like, I'm not trying to say anything like that. Yeah, luckily, like I said, our rent situation is good. So we're not in a rush to bail on the apartment. It is too small for us at this point. We want more space. We want more space. 1 bedroom is just too small. Like, we have 2 cats. We would like a dog. Dog would be cool, but can't have 2 cats and a dog in the place this small, you know? Like, it's just too much. So, luckily, since we're not in a rush, we're going to be able to, like, really search to secure a good deal. We also qualify for the first-time homeowners, you know, loan, or like the FHA loan that lets you pay less than 20%. So, you know, we could do that. So if we could find a cheaper house that we could then afford to remodel. It's all, you know, who the hell knows what's going on. Like, there's a chance we could find a home for, like, really cheap that we can then put the money into remodeling and blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of work.
And grab, you can either press a tab.
I hope you guys can't hear that. You guys could hear that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter watching a Rival of Aether clip. What sucks is mortgage no, mortgage insurance does not equal mortgage insurance is not that expensive. Mortgage insurance, if the house is cheap enough, the mortgage insurance is worth it if your monthly payments don't go up from the down payment. Billion option? No fucking way, dude. Because you have to buy the land in full to build. Like, you have to be able to fully purchase the plot of land in one go. You can't mortgage a plot of land. Got a shiny Charizard name? Doug. D-O-U-G. Glurak, that's the German name for Charizard. No, I understand your lender will make you pay mortgage insurance if the down payment is not large enough. What I am saying is that most of the time, from my research, the mortgage insurance is usually cheaper for the monthly. Mortgage insurance does not cost you to pay. So it doesn't insanely raise the cost of the monthly payments to the point where it's always unreasonable. Basically. Can you RNG starters in Fire Red and Leaf Green? You can. I have a video on it. Fire Red and Leaf Green RNG is tough, though. I'll say that much. Fire Red and Leaf Green RNG is always a double frame perfect trick. It's never easy peasy. If you've done Ruby Sapphire RNG, I say start learning Fire Red. But I wouldn't start with it. Yeah. I agree, Shade. Yeah, it's just you know, it's not the best. It's not that, like, there are some situations where the mortgage insurance will make it not worth it, but oftentimes the real kicker isn't the mortgage insurance. It's just putting less than 20 causes the monthly to go up so much that it ends up not being worth it anyway, just on the mortgage payments alone, not including mortgage insurance. So we're trying to find somewhere that we can do a reasonable 20%. And it's like, we're looking here. We're looking in like a 30-minute area to where we live. We're looking in North Jersey somewhere. We're looking in townhouses. We're looking in condos. Having someone not live above us will be sick. Come here, kitty man. This is my son. Hello, my son. He likes when you do this. You want down? I love my cats. Eight days finding a shiny and people say it's the same as hacking. Yeah, you're fucking telling me, bro. I'm just a cheater dingus. And I actually found a shiny, it just wasn't the one I wanted. This is Sassy. I don't even know which one this one is. Sassy. It's 149. 99, 89, 148, 156, 81. Calculate. This is a method 4-1. It was 2 seeds early, a lot advances late. About 10 advances late. And like the 10 advances late there is just the randomness, man. 2 seed early was because I probably had music playing. All right, thanks, Meek. Thank you for hanging out. You have a coworker that considers RNG cheating? You know, I have personally never been able to like directly convince a person via talking, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been able to personally convince a person by actually just talking to them. I don't even know if I've ever seen a person comment on my videos saying that like I used to not think it's cheating and now it is. It's just already people who have the preconceived conception of agreeing with me or disagreeing. So I don't actually even know how to convince people. Like I don't know. To me, it's always been cool to like learn how games work and see the technical application and stuff behind them. And like, I guess if someone else just doesn't like that type of stuff, I don't really know. Like, if I don't relate to someone, I have a very hard time just communicating with them in general. Is this for a team building video? No. I would be doing something much easier if it was for a team building video. I probably won't have a team building video come out this month. Unless it's Scarlet and Violet. In which case I will have a Scarlet and Violet one out this month. The way I'll be doing the Scarlet and Violet video is assuming there's no editor and that leak was some fake ass bullshit. I will do the team builder. I'll make up my own team, which I've never done for a video before, and I'll be comparing the time to the Gen 5 video, because the Gen 5 video is a format that doesn't allow restricted legendaries, which presumably Scarlet and Violet will also not be allowing. Scarlet and Violet will not be allowing restricted legendaries in first go, so it's a fair time sync comparison to Gen 5 video, because the Gen 5 video hasn't really been as fair as some other games, because to compare to the other games, because it is only there's no, I don't have to do the crazy Gen 4 thing or the Gen 8 thing to like have the right game and trade games and stuff like that, you know. Waiting for the exact frame is like watching someone that's watching paint dry. I mean, is it any different than watching, you know, a shiny hunter reset over and over again? I guess it's a little less interactive than that. I don't know. I have bursts of interactivity where I'm running to the thing and doing my inputs right. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do the Gen 3 team building video, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I already did a mini Gen 3 team builder where I built the 2 Pokemon that I would use on when I did the double battle tower thing with Tama. That was a cool video, because that's really how I build. Whenever I build teams, I use as many glitches and everything as I can. But like for those videos, I think it's more interesting to be analyzing Game Freak's decision making. So I've been not doing glitches in them. So when I do actual Gen 3, I'm gonna both figure out the format I'm playing in. Surely I'm gonna have to do a Smogon format, right? I'm either gonna have to do a Smogon format, or maybe I'll like collab with like a VGC player, or like is there like fake VGC metas? Does anyone even know about this? Like, I wonder if there's like a fake theoretical VGC Gen 3 ladder on Showdown or something, and I can look in the meta for that, or something like that. I think the best play is gonna have to be consulting with like a VGCer. Maybe I could actually get a fucking collab in with some of these fuckers. I thought about doing Journey Across America, but there's just so little documentation on it. When I actually do the Gen 3 video, I'll have to decide. And yeah, I know, Tama, they didn't. But the concept of it could still be interesting to me, I guess. I don't know. Gen 3 isn't on the list anytime soon, regardless of anything that I'm talking about here. I'm very interested in Gen 1. Gen 1, I don't know if Gen 1's going to be next. I haven't done any botting yet. What I'll have to do is look for the teams. I'll have to look for the teams and then find the Gen 1 pads for them. So I'm going to have to be doing. Oh, that fucked me probably. See, that extra movement I just went up there by accident. That extra movement I just went up there by accident, it could have put me in for extra encounter checks. So even if I'm on seed, I'm probably late on the target advances that I wanted, which is just shitty, but what am I going to do? Why isn't the game in English? There is no reason. I don't own a Japanese copy of Sapphire. Or an English. Sorry. I don't own an English copy of Sapphire. I only own a Japanese copy. I lent my original Sapphire that I got when I was a child. I still have a vivid memory of it. Going to get it. I was walking into Toys R Us with my mom, holding her hand. I was like 5. Nope, not 5. Way older. I was in 5th grade is what I'm trying to say. I was like walking into Toys R Us with my mom. She made me hold her hand because she didn't want me to get hit by a car. And I was talking to her about how I was excited for Ruby and Sapphire, but I didn't know what game I wanted. I was saying to her, I didn't know Latios and Latios were Psychic Dragon, to be clear about this part. And so I was saying to her, I wanted Sapphire because Kyogre is a water type, but you can't get Latios in it. So I was like, maybe I want Ruby because Latios is a water type. And then I decided once I was in the store, that I wanted Sapphire. And then my girlfriend and I at the time were doing a catch-em-all in Ruby and Sapphire, and I lent her my copy of Sapphire. And then we broke up, and then I never got it back. And so I lost my original copy of Sapphire. It is, to this day, the only Pokemon game I've ever lost, ever. Yep. Sounds like it's being held hostage. No. Sir, so to clarify a few things about this, we broke up. The breakup was very bad. This was a long time ago. This was like 2012? I want to say it was 2012. And the games were not like worth it. They were not worth anything back then. Like you could probably have gotten Japanese Sapphire for like $25 or something. No, English Sapphire for $25 or something. Because the Japanese copies were going for like 13 then. So it was probably like 20 or 25 for an English copy of the game. And so we broke up. And I didn't even want to speak to her because I was so upset about what had happened. And by the time we had made amends and became friends, when I was talking to her, I had mentioned it. I was like, oh, do you actually have it? And she was like, oh, I don't even know where it is. I think she sold all of her old, she didn't have very good memory. Like, I'm assuming she thought it was her game. Like, she had forgotten. Like, we had broken up. Like, 4 or 5 years passed by. I'm assuming she had forgotten I even lent it to her. And then she had just sold it with all of her old Game Boy games. Because she sold all of her own Pokemon games. Like, the way she did it was she was a migrator, so she migrated every Pokemon up and then sold the old game because she was like, I don't have the space to store as much stuff as I want, so I'll just sell all my old Pokemon games. So she still sold even her own games. So I don't think it was like an intentional malicious thing from her. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Maybe it was, but I don't think it was. I know. Amanda and I were at a used game store recently, like a mom and pop shop. And I was like, oh, how much is, and she was like, oh, anything you see there? And I was like, a Metroid Zero mission, but I probably won't get it. And she was like, why? Why? You love Metroid. You don't own Zero Mission. Metroid Zero Mission is the only Metroid game that I don't own a physical copy of yet. And including Metroid on the NES, I don't own Metroid on the NES because I don't like that game. But all the other ones I like and I don't own. And she's like, oh, Metroid Zero Mission. Why don't you get it? And I was like, I don't know. It's probably too expensive. And she's like, no, ask the price. And I'm like, hey, how much is Metroid Zero Mission? And the guy was like $82. And I was like, yep, that's about right, dude. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, fucking Nintendo games. They just have their fucking value. I was hoping the value would fall after Dread's release, but it's been a year since Dread came out. And yeah, Zero Mission is like $80 to $90 at this point. It's like, fuck, dude. My copy of Metroid Fusion only cost me $65, and it was Japanese. $65 for the Japanese copy. It's so annoying, dude. Like, I will basically never sell a game that I own. Like, I don't even know if I believe that this is... I don't even know if I believe that this is, like, the market value of things anymore for this retail market. Maybe this is sounding conspiracy theory-esque to you people, but... basically, my thoughts are right now... like, I don't know what the rate of sale of Metroid Zero Mission... I'm just gonna reset. Like, I don't know what the rate of sale of Metroid Zero Mission is right now. It cannot be high. Like, I'm sure there's not too many people buying Metroid Zero Mission, like, frequently. Like, I don't think the sales are happening that frequently for this game. But the value went up because of, you know, A, Nintendo game, B, Metroid Dread. The value went up, and now the value just isn't going back down. Do you know what I mean? Like, with Pokemon games, the value is still a bit of a scam, but... at least the sale rate is very frequent. People are frequently buying these games for $100 plus, which is some horseshit. But that is just what the sale value is going at. Like, I remember there was I almost bought a copy of English Leaf Green. There was a shiny hunter I followed on Twitch and YouTube. There's a shiny hunter I follow on Twitch and YouTube who... or I used to follow. I don't follow him anymore. He was like, I'm selling my copy of Leaf Green. I just want it to go to a good home. And he was like, DM me for the price. And I DM him and he's like $120. And I'm like, you're a fucking joke. Fuck you. Like, that is what it was going on for eBay at the time. But like, you don't just want it to have a good home. Like, that's my main takeaway from this. Like, if I decided I didn't want my emerald anymore. If I decided I didn't want my emerald anymore, I would probably sell it around the price I bought it for, plus shipping. To like a mutual at the very worst. You know what I mean? If I wanted it to go to a good home. It would be sent to a mutual or something like that. And it's just like, fuck, man. Pisses me off, dude. Like, I'm not... and I'm very anti this stuff. You can ask several of my friends. I have given away at this point 3 fake emeralds to people I know, so they won't have to deal with purchasing a second copy of Emerald legitimately. Yeah. Repo carts are the savior. I understand if you don't enjoy playing on a repo cart. I totally get it. Not a hater of that at all. Hoi hoi. But like, you can also do some cool stuff with repo cartridges. Like I gave one to Hefe, so he didn't have to buy one a retail copy. I sent one to Tama, although that she didn't ask for it. I just sent it. I was like, I was sending her something else, and I was like, here, you don't, if you don't. What? What are you screaming about? Hey. And then I sent one to Shiny Collector, 98, because he asked me for it. He was like, oh, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Here you go, dog. I got you. And I modded his Emerald to not have broken RNG. No, there are some functionalities. My repos are pretty good, but there are some functionalities that they won't work. They support no GameCube connectivity, which isn't a huge deal as long as you have one game that supports GameCube connectivity. Because then you could just trade all the Pokemon to that game. But you probably do need to have at least one real game. Man, just sent me a video a while ago. What is it? Why have I been streaming?
I wonder what it's called.
Video load.
What a pretty color. I wonder what it's called.
No, they're identical in function. I did like your video. It's funny. Bleh. You want pizza tonight? We still have lefties? We still have lefties, no pizza tonight. We do pizza tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, pizza tonight? Alright, we do pizza. Hey, what's up, Green Darkness? How are you? I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. That was a little longer than I thought I was going to. Maybe I'll only do 1 or 2 more attempts. I guess the attempts are long, right? They take like, what, 10 minutes or something like that? The only reason why I picked up the Sinnoh remakes was that the original Platinum were so expensive. I'll say it. I said to my wife a little earlier, a while ago. The Sinnoh remakes are bad for people who've played Platinum. If you've played and loved Platinum, they are very disappointing. And also, if you were expecting something closer to Oras or Heart Gold Soul Silver, they're disappointing. But if you want like a decent, they are They're better than Diamond and Pearl. Literally, technically, they are better than Diamond and Pearl. That is a fucking fact, unfortunately. So, if you've never played Sinnoh before, and you have no expectations of a remake to be something like Omega Ruby, and you just want to experience, you know, Sinnoh as it was, they're not that bad. And they do have improvement. Like, they're not bad. It's hard for me to say they're not that bad, but in reality, they're not bad. They are just, like, they're bad in the context. They're, like, bad in the context of the whole franchise. Like, that makes sense. Like, they're bad because they're, like, a soulish cash grab. They're bad. They're bad because they didn't include any interesting features from Platinum. They're bad because there's no 20-minute, there's a 20-minute battle timer. They're bad because all the Pokemon, like, aren't in it. It's only the Gen 1 through 4 Pokemon. Like, it's bad because reusable TMs. But, as a way to experience Sinnoh, I think they're fine. Like, if you've never played Sinnoh before and you're like, oh, should I buy BDSP or should I fork over $120 for Platinum? It's like, don't fucking do that. Like, it's like BDSP are fine. I mean, I really, 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 really do not like BDSP. I am very anti those games. I fucking hate them. Asiago, stop! Why are you screaming? My cat is screeching. I don't know why. Looking at them as video games and not remakes slash part of Gen 8 slash esport, they are better than Oras. You're dumb. What the fuck? No, they're not. What's up, Store and Run Gaming? I quite like Oras. There are parts of it that upset me. Nice, Storm Run Gaming. Least fun? Someone didn't play Fire Red and Leaf Green or Colo at XD. It is hard for me to divorce the concept of, like I can never play BDSP. I can never play Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I can never play or experience Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl out of the context of the entire franchise, and I can also never play them as a person who didn't play Diamond and Pearl, who didn't play Platinum, and who didn't play the other remakes that are better and more inspired, I would say, than BDSP. I can never play them in that context. I can never look at them in that context. So that context always puts a very big negativity on them for me. But I understand that if you, I can rationalize that if you do not have that context within you, that they can be fun, because I had fun with Diamond and Pearl when I was younger, right? So if I liked Diamond and Pearl, or, you know, Platinum, to be clear, Diamond and Pearl are not very good games nowadays, but I would say 40% of the issue, if you wanted to play them these days, is literally the game's unplayable. There's lots of other issues, right? The story pacing is weird. Like, why don't you fight Fantine, or is it Fantina? I can't remember. Why don't you fight the ghost gym leader, like, when you first get to her town? I feel like there's no fucking reason for it. It's so weird. It means there's an extremely long stretch of gameplay from Gym 2 to, from Gardenia to Maylene, where you're doing, like, nothing, basically. It's very strange. Is that a weird pacing issue? Yes. Would that kill the game for me if the battles were quickly paced? No, it fucking wouldn't. But in tandem with both of those things, it does. Story, not very interesting. Cyrus, kind of a boring villain, blah, 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 blah. You want to know anything? I'm getting a little tired. You want to know anything about why these games are doo-doo? Watch Tamahiro's review. button menu. Button menu. What is that, like the... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's button. Button menu. The second word is definitely menu. It's in my overlay. Oh. Yeah. It's when if I hit the Z button, a menu will pop up for Pokemon Box. Yeah, it's saying Z button equals the menu. Leaving out Z there is a crucial information in my interpretation of it. So yeah, I can't ever divorce BDSP from that type of thing. From that type of context. And like the reason I thought you were just asking me another Japanese question, because you also have been doing that, Green Darkness. You'll DM me something in Japanese, or like asking me about. So I thought you were just doing that again. And I was like, why does he need to know what this is? And I was like, let me double check, make sure I'm reading this right. It's saying Z button equals the menu. That's what it's saying. But it's Z button menu. So like, for me, like, we can talk about Oras, right? When I played Oras for the first time, I really enjoyed it. And I think part of that had stemmed from... the fact that I probably hadn't played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in years. But when the first time I played... Or I hadn't played Ruby and Sapphire or Emerald in... a long time. I had not played it in years compared to when I played Oras. So for me, Oras did make me feel like I was playing Gen 3 again. And so playing through the story was very good for me. And then on top of that, it had the weird nostalgia pull of the Delta episode. The Delta episode, I don't know if anyone has confirmed it was on purpose or not. I don't think it was, but like there were lots of, because this is an American rumor. Surely this isn't a Japanese rumor. But, you know, there was the rumor of going to space to get Jirachi. The rumor I always heard was the number of space shuttle launches, when it hits 100, you can go to the moon to get Jirachi. That was the rumor I always heard. But, like, it felt like they were acknowledging that in some way. And the Delta episode for me was more fun than the Battle Frontier and Emerald, because the Battle Frontier and Emerald, when I was younger, was nothing but frustrating. And so when everyone was like, oh, the Battle Frontier isn't there. And I was like, fucking good. I was like, fucking good. The Battle Frontier blew. Like, they did the Delta episode instead, which is very cool. And they had all these cool ways. They had all the improvements from X and Y to competitive breeding and stuff. But when I played through Oras again, after having experienced Gen 3 in many playthroughs because of this YouTube channel and RNG manipulation, you know what, I'm actually just gonna rip it. We're gonna do one more rip. We're just gonna do one more rip and call it a stream. Playing Oras nowadays, where, you know, I know what Gen 3 is like a lot. I'm very, 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 very familiar with Gen 3 and its mechanics and the way it works and all of the story elements and everything. Playing through Oras was very interesting. Because it does not feel like the same game at all. And there were several points that frustrated me a lot. I don't think I care about the EXP share. A lot of people are EXP share complainers. I am not. I've come to think that it's fine as long as you can turn it off. And Oras lets you turn it off. Why would you want to turn it off? Just for some specific training purposes. I think in the main story, it's fine. All right. Good night, Dylan. Thank you. They changed every single gym layout except Norman's. I actually think I'm also fine with that. I think having a fresh take on all of the gym layouts and the story elements is also really good. Like, I don't think you'll find any Gen 3 lover who's going to say that Gen 3 Brendan or Gen 3 Archie or Gen 3 Maxie are superior characters to their Oras counterparts, because I don't think you'll find anyone who'll say that, because they're not. The biggest problem I've got, and also DexNav, super cool. The biggest problem with Oras is that they don't... I thought this was exaggerated. Let me tell you something. I thought this was exaggerated. I thought people were saying, like, so many people were saying Oras was different. Too different from Ruby and Sapphire. And I kind of thought that was an exaggeration. No. It turns out no. The game is way more handholdy than I remembered. Like, in a weird way. Like, there's a lot more meetings with the rivals. Like, there's a lot more meetings with the rivals where the rival will tell you where to go or how to go somewhere. The game also jumps you around a lot and doesn't let you explore in the same way. Like I've played Gen 3 so many fucking times, guys. You don't understand. I know there's people in this chat who've probably played Gen 3 more than I have, but I've played it a lot at this point, right? And I've played it a lot at this point. And like not going to Meteor Falls, like you go to Meteor Falls and then they teleport you back to that guy's house, and then they're like, oh, do you want me to take you to this town? I'm like, what is this? Like, they don't even let you stay in Meteor Falls. They force you from Meteor Falls to the guy's house. What? Like, let me just go through Meteor Falls so I can go back down to Verdant. Like, there's a natural built-in loop there. Let me loop. Like, and they do this several times. It's been already so long. It's been so long, but it's like, yeah. Yes, Wally does force you to Mauville. Yup. Some of them some of them you can say no to. But not all of them. And I found it very frustrating. I actually really found it inhibited my enjoyment of the playthrough. It really, really did inhibit my ability to like enjoy, because I really feel like the exploration aspect of it brings a lot to Gen 3 for me. I've come to realize as an adult human being on this earth that my favorite thing in these games is the exploration that you can have. It's actually why I've been very much enjoying my sorry. I like exploring the routes and stuff, and I like exploring the caves, and like it's like why I miss some of the meaty cave dungeons you used to get in the older Pokemon games, where you felt like you had to really equip up. Like, you had to fucking load up on repels, Pokeballs, potions. Like money felt like it was a valuable thing in those games. Like, I've been enjoying Gen 1 lately. I've been playing through Japanese Yellow, just kind of slowly and casually. And before you get to Celadon, you really actually feel like you have to fucking... Guys, let me tell you something. Mount Moon and then Rock Tunnel are actually crazy if you don't know where to fucking go. Like, you actually have to load up. Now, The dungeons fall short in the wanting to explore aspect of what I'm talking about, because, god damn it, dude, they are actually not easy to make it through. Like, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't remember the path, which I didn't, because it's been a long time since I played Gen 1, and I don't even know if Japanese Yellow's Rock Tunnel is the same layout. Like, so, like, there's not a lot to explore in those caves. There's not a lot to explore in those caves, is what I'm saying. You basically have Zubat encounters and trainers, and then maybe if you're lucky, a TM. But what I do like is it feels like, I see the entrance to Rock Tunnel, I'm like, here we fucking go. Like, it feels like I'm gearing up, you know what I mean? And I think later games do a better job of that, where it feels like, here we fucking go, but also, like, there's stuff in here that I want to go back for later. Black and White does this exceptionally. I will never stop singing Black and White's praises, but yeah. What is the character after No? Pokemon No, I believe that says Ega. It's, yeah, Pokemon no Ega, A and then Ga. It's Ka with the little thingies. I always forget what the little thingies are called. I'm having a brain fart. Tintin. You thought it was a Sue? A and U can look similar. I've confused them before. No, I'm not. I'm not considering doing that. Although I was actually shocked to find out there was an actual reason, because for the most part I ignore gender because I you know, gender doesn't matter, right? Or so I thought. But someone explained to me in the comments that the Haxorus, or not the Haxorus, one of the Pokemon's gender, or maybe all of them, were supposed to be female because to deal with rivalry Haxorus, which I thought was cool. But the gender doesn't actually make any of the RNGs like any different or more difficult at all. So I don't think it affects the overall content of the video. Oh, it's cool. It was cool to learn about that strategy, though. The Gen 5 video was the one I put the least amount of thought into. And you can kind of tell. Best place to grind EXP to fight in Johto to fight Red? Oh, I never grind. The way I defeat Red is I'll just potion spam. I have no fucking shame, dude. I will just spam revives and stuff, or X items. Red is so high level, it's like not even fair. Egg hatching in a manip, kind of cool. Yeah, it is cool. Hatching the egg makes it more likely to get method 4. Is the music glitch? Yep. That's why you hatch the egg. Hatching the egg causes the egg hatching the egg hatching music to consistently play over and over again, and having it play, causes the V blank to be more likely to occur. Blisy mentioned one. Oh. Well, no, I don't like Dynamaxing. I think Dynamaxing was bad, even for VGC play. That's kind of my hot take. It's better. I don't even know if I could say it was better than Z moves. It actually wasn't as bad as it wasn't better than Z moves actually. I do want to go to some VGC events. I think I could do kind of well. I'm a decent battler in my own brain cells, my own right. I think I could do okay at VGC events. It would be cool. It would be cool to go to something. Why do you always call me stupid? It's not funny and it's mean. I'm timing you out. You liked VGC pre-gimmicks like till VGC 13? Well, they've run some formats since then that have no gimmicks in them, right? They've run it like I remember the Sun and Moon formats. They had a format without. Didn't they run formats without megas or Z moves? This is Sapphire, yeah. That's why there's Kyogre here. In Emerald, Kyogre wouldn't be in the Cave of Origin. Do I have the beeps playing right now? I didn't even realize. That's just my door closing. See how far I was. Let's see how far off I was. One seed late, 2 advances early. We're pretty much dialed in. I might even change tomorrow's stream to this. I don't know. Maybe I'll run a poll. Right now, I've got tomorrow's stream scheduled as, right now, I've got tomorrow's stream scheduled as doing more Battle Factory, but maybe I'll run a poll. I was so close to this, I kind of want to stay in my groove, you know what I'm saying? But that's going to be it for me today. If you guys want somewhere else to go, my friend Papa Hefe is streaming on Twitch right now, so please head over to him and say I said hello. You can catch me in the chat there while I am doing some work. All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you later. I don't know where the end stream button is. There it is.